You don't expect there to be a sign that says danger, unexploded bombs and stuff. What? Welcome back to another Ultra Pop Top Adventures video. I had loads of tabs open on my computer the other day with different campsites on it, and somehow I ended up booking the wrong campsite. So I'm on my way there now. I've no idea what this site looks like. I've not even checked it out online. So let's take you along for the ride and see what I've let myself in for. Sit back, grab a drink and get ready for another adventure in Jeff the Camper Van. If you're new here, I create videos of UK campsites, go hiking, days out with the family, throw in a bit of photography, and every now and then I'll attempt some DIY on the van. If that sounds like your kind of thing, it would be awesome if you could hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We love it when you do. Nice! So I've arrived at Southfield Touring and Camping site. I am parked up now, but I didn't know what it was all about. It's lovely. I'm closer to the sea than I thought I was. So yeah, let's go get set up and sorted. So we're all camped up and ready to go. All I had to do was plug the electric hookup in, and the next step is to get the kettle on, pot noodle, coffee, happy days. Sadly at this campsite there are no campfires, but it is raining. It's going to rain all day and evening, so even if I did bring a fire pit I won't be able to have it. There's going to be no setting up outside at all. It's just that horrible drizzly kind of rain that gets you soaked through to the bone. So I'm going to get the kettle on, get sorted, and then we're going to go for a wander that way and see what's going on over there. Nice! I popped on my waterproofs, rucksack with my camera just in case, locked up the van and headed out for a walk to see the sea. As usual, I walked the route twice. Firstly to put the camera down, then to walk back again and pick it up. The walk was along the main road with quite a thin path, but the road wasn't too busy. Just be careful if you've got any little ones or you've had a few pints to drink. About 500 yards down the road, just after the sign for Mapleton with the church on your left, turn right and follow your ears to the sea. I'm sure this place is lovely when the sun is shining, but with the rain comes solitude and getting the whole place to myself. Nice. So I've just had a quick walk up to the car park to see what it's all about. There's probably about 10 spaces and some toilets, which is great, but also a huge sign that says no overnight camping. One of them just here there. If you missed that one, then there's something wrong with you. And then there's another sign further up saying there's just nothing. Can't even have barbecues, cook, do anything, breathe. But there's a little slip road down here, past the gate, and let's go down and have a look at the sea. So when you come down to the beach with your family in the sunshine, you put out some deck chairs and chill, play a bit of football, frisbee, whatever it is that takes your fancy. You don't expect there to be a sign that says danger, unexploded bombs and stuff. What? What am I doing? RAF Cowden was a Royal Air Force bombing range near to the village of Aldeburgh in the East Riding of Yorkshire. This site was used by the RAF and other air forces between 1959 and 1998 and was used by the Army for training in the Second World War. Since closure, explosive ordnance disposal teams have had to visit the site on numerous occasions due to erosion of the cliffs by the North Sea revealing old practice bombs. The beach was completely closed to help scan for unexploded devices and has since reopened and deemed safe. I'm guessing safe-ish due to the signage. If you do find anything on this beach though, walk away and report it to the local authorities. Well, I survived. I didn't pick up any unexploded artillery shells and throw them into the sea. I didn't step on anything I shouldn't step on, so yeah, beautiful. I'm sure it's gorgeous when the tide's out as well. I think I've got some nice photographs, I don't know. I forgot my tripod, gutted, so everything was handheld or wedged on some stones and pebbles. But you know, it is what it is. I had fun doing it and that's all that matters, isn't it? So let's go try and find a pub. Yeah, let's find a pub. I just walked back from that way because I thought there might be a pub over there in the little village, but there isn't. However, I've just checked Google Maps, should have done that in the first place because I'm a div. There's a pub a little bit further on from the campsite. It's a good job because if there'd have been a pub that way, I've realised I've forgotten my wallet, it's still in the van. So I'll have to go via the van to get my wallet and then go to the pub. Coming up, the all-important campsite tour and Colin Answers Your Questions section. Insert clip. Colin Answers Your Questions. So look forward to that a little bit later on. I'm almost back at the van to grab my wallet and go to the pub. Lovely. I can see the sign for the pub. Oh, I can see the pub from here. It's closed. So let's go back to the van, crack open a beer, think about dinner, chill out, and forget that that pub existed. But it's about, I don't know, 500 yards from the campsite. It looked nice. Can't tell you what it looks like inside because it was shut. Do you know when you really fancy a beer, you can taste it. You know how cold it's going to be out of the taps and you're like, oh, it's already up to your lips before you've even ordered it. Yeah, that's how I felt. Oh, it's not the same as if it were from a pub though, is it, eh? Never mind. The problem with me being sat in the van having nothing to do is I start thinking about potential DIY projects, and I've already thought of one, I know. It's dangerous when I think about DIY, but I'm thinking about upgrading this table. Now, it's not going to be a table after I've upgraded it. It's going to be a swing out, hob and sink. I know, right? So you're thinking to yourself, but you got rid of your sink and hob. Why are you putting your sink and hob back in? The reason I got rid of my sink and hob is because A, the sink we never used, and B, we never cooked in the van because it stunk in the van. Now, if I've got it on a swing out table, it means I can swing it outside, cook outside with the doors open and everything. It'll all be lovely in the sunshine like Instagram, and then swing it back in again and it's all out of the way. Now, the reason we didn't use the sink as a sink with water is because we're always worried about, you know, how long has that water been in the bucket that's been in the cupboards and stuff. Whereas I could probably install something like this, which I quite happily drink out of this throughout the whole trip, but have that so then the pump's in there or something similar that I don't mind putting fresh water in it every time, and then I've got a tap with the pump and everything. Maybe power the pump with the Bowden's generator because that's small enough. It'll be super heavy, so I'll probably have to reinforce this whole system here. So what I think I might do is build one as like a temporary unit to see if it fits and works, maybe make it out of cardboard, and then put it in, see if it works, blah, 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 and figure out all the technicals as I go along. One beer and the creative sick starts. It needs to be a swing out cooking station. Tell me what you think in the comment section about a swing out kitchen. See if it might work. Tell me what you think the problems might be. The problems I might face, any issues to having it in the van, why you wouldn't have it in the van or why you would have it in the van. Yeah, put it down in the comment section below and tell me what you think, because I genuinely think that could be a great idea. It could also be the worst idea I've ever had because I've just thought about it. But we'll see. We'll see. It's not the finest meal I've ever made in the van, I'll be honest with you. And it was a bit of a faff. I think I've just burnt everything. I've burnt the chicken nuggets, I've burnt the egg, the salad's the best bit and that just came straight out of a bag. It's a little bit later on now and I've got the bed set up. I've been chilling for a little while. It's been awesome. But I thought I'd get to the section where Colin Answers Your Questions. The first question I'm getting asked quite a lot recently is, when is your next mini meetup? Now, I've not got a date in the diary just yet because I'm still waiting for the weather to improve, because it'd be pretty grim if we're all just locked in our vans because the weather's horrible or it's cold and wet and drizzly. So hopefully the weather will turn, and once it does, we'll be sorting a mini meetup and I shall let you know the dates as soon as I know and something's sorted. Nice. Another question that I get asked quite a lot is, did you make a video of the overhead locker above where your sink and hob used to be? The answer is no, I didn't, sadly. I did it when I had a bit of time off over one Christmas, not this year, year before, And yeah, so sadly I didn't make a video on that one, but I did make a video on this one, and I'll link it in the description below. And the next question that I'm getting asked quite a bit, certainly on Facebook, is when's your next DIY video? Now, you've probably had a little bit of an insight to that one earlier on when I was talking about the swing out cooking station thing. Maybe that's the next one. It might not be, I don't know. I really need to think about that one first because I've only just thought about that. But yeah, the next DIY video will probably be in the next couple of weeks, I would have thought. And I think that's all of your questions for now. If you've got any questions that you want me to answer in any future videos, pop them down in the comment section and I shall add them to the list to answer in future videos coming up. And or if you've got any questions that you want answering pretty much straight away, then I shall reply to them as soon as I possibly can. Right then, it's sleepy's time, so I shall see you guys in the morning and for the all-important campsite tour. Ugh, knackered. Oh, I love this bed. Morning, everybody. Oh, that was a mammoth sleep last night. Went to bed about 10. It's 8 o'clock now. Lovely, jovely. I'm about ready for my first morning coffee. And it's still raining, obviously, because I'm camping. But that'll probably stop as soon as I go home. And I think, before I get my coffee on, it's about time, and I'm so sorry it's taken such a long time to introduce this. It's about time for your campsite tour. So enjoy, and I shall see you in a bit. Bye. Southfield Touring Park is a dog-friendly campsite just a short walk from the beach. I was greeted by a lovely lady who came up to the van on the way in, and she gave me lots of information about the site and where everything is, plus a printout with information too. There is an automatic barrier on entry and you're given a code once you've checked in. There are about 30 flat and very well maintained hard-standing pitches, each of which has its own electric point and water tap. There is a small block that houses 6 toilets and showers in individual private rooms, have a rain-type shower head with a push button and a super clean, modern and well maintained. At the back of this block is a dog-friendly on-site pub. Sadly I couldn't get in this time as they close on Mondays, however an on-site pub is always a good thing. Just at the front of the pub, facing the campsite, is reception. Looking through the window past the advert for bingo night, it looks like there are a few provisions on the shelves should you need them during your stay. There is an Elson point, one side is Elson and the other side is grey waste, and there are plenty of bins dotted around the site. There is a dog wash area, a nice touch for any campsite, and the pot wash area was undercover, well presented with 2 sinks, a fridge and freezer should you need that during your stay. Further round from there is a lovely undercover and heated seating area that would be a pleasure to sit in with a nice pint at any time of the day. Sadly for fire pit lovers like me, fires are not permitted on site, however barbecues are okay if raised off the ground. This site's quite close to the road. It's not a super busy road, but I'd suggest pitching up further into the site so you don't get any road noise early in the morning. Quiet time is from 10:30 and dogs must be kept on leads at all times. This site costs £30 for one night including electric, which in my experience is pretty much the going rate at the moment. But all in all, I think this site is lovely, and as with all my campsite tours, they're not sponsored, it's just me visiting sites, camping and showing you guys around for you to see if this is somewhere you'd like to visit in the future. Stay awesome, and above all, be kind. Well, that's the campsite tour done. I'm just having my morning coffee. Nothing works without a coffee. And if you're after one of these mugs, I'll put a link in the description below because it makes your drinks taste better. Honestly. Right then, guys, I shall see you on the next adventure. Take care. See you. Goodbye. Don't forget to stay in tune for the outtakes because they're always the funniest. Well, so let's go see what I'm getting some. Yeah. Oh, right, obviously there's a school. Ah, wet feet. Respectable day, take a leave, or won't you please? What's he emptying now? Why is he opening that? Why did you open it and then close it again? You didn't even do anything. Nothing better than watching people set up and pack down in their vans in a campsite. It's mint. But he's circled his van about 1,000 times. Oh, emptying Portaloo. I could actually watch him empty it. Why am I watching a man empty his poo? Got Crocs on. I like them already. Comfort over style. Comfort over style.